Okay, last video for today. Let's clarify the outcomes for tomorrow and everything that we have accomplished today. We had a very high leverage meeting where we were introduced to an opportunity for PR, which came together nicely. And this is certainly an experience that I will love to have and love to help others with PR and getting my foot in the door with PR. That's exactly what I want. This is exactly what I'm going to facilitate for people to send them business and get them into the magazine. This is where I'm going to start, basically setting up PR services, PR and advertising services for family offices so that they can get to their reach. And so first of all, you're going to get featured in this magazine, and if this makes sense to you, then obviously there's a reason why we give that for free. Obviously we have other service packages as well, but like first of all, let's see if it's worth your time. You are going to get featured there. It's a very hassle-free process. It doesn't take a lot of your time. In fact, your assistant can do that. You can have a video, you can have an interview with them or not, or you can just and we'll feature you, and it will feature you there, which is going to be great for the website, and to say that you've been featured in a magazine alongside people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk in that magazine. And it's always good to have more of that, to have a plethora of features, to have a plethora of those PR pieces that you can utilize in order to leverage the brand building that you're going to embark on as you're further going down the journey of actually building your legacy and doing all of these things, right? So it is very important for us to understand that there are different ways how we can utilize the strategies of selling advertising in PR packages, especially to family office owners and to family office heirs, who are also in the consideration of our target audience, so that we understand what exactly we are going to offer to people of abundant utility and abundant necessity. As I'm learning to speak and to articulate, I'm just flowing, I'm just free flowing, learning how to speak, learning how to practice the introduction and the pitch, of learning how to control my own voice. I really like my look, I like the way it's turning out, and I like the way that I'm going there as an advertising salesman, and my suit does not look in any way bad, so that we can truly get you on the cover of the magazine, so we get to understand who you are, what you would like to accomplish, and how much further we can take that so that you can get into the magazine, the same magazine that I was featured in. You obviously have a much higher acumen, a much more impressive acumen. You obviously have a much more impressive acumen, so for you it's even more high leverage opportunity, because you can get featured in the magazine, but if you really have the track record that you can, it's just about letting it be known. And I understand that you may not want to be very famous very soon, but this is an opportunity for you to get known in the circles that matter, right? Because exactly as you said that you were getting the deal flow with the DeepSeek, how did that came about? As I understood, that it was on an airplane in the business class, wasn't it? Okay, got it. So on the business class, yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I'm thinking more inbound. Right? You're setting yourself up in the right industry, you've gone through the fire, probably the hard times are over for you, I would say, and now it's pretty, you like to work hard, but I think it's a choice, it's not a necessity anymore. It doesn't seem like you're in survival mode. So it's great that you're deploying your resources thinking about the future. So it's truly great that you're deploying your resources in thinking about the future. And so what's the catch here? I realized that I've helped SaaS founders get clear, and that clarity and consolidation is one of my key strengths as a coach. And I realized that the same I can apply to the heirs of family offices. That's why I'm networking, because I know that this is where I belong, and this is where my future is going to be built in. And what better way to give people, and I was just really finding to set up a system where I can provide value to people up front, because to be able to provide value to people up front. And I found this way through working my way into this magazine, into this PR company, that I can offer these services for free. And Obviously, a lot of people end up buying other services afterwards, and I can get compensated on the deals. You understand that, you see through that right away. So, but I'm really not here to take your money. I would love for you to get into the magazine, and if you say it makes sense for you on paper, but that's the conversation that you can have with the CEO, and he's a strong guy. I mean, you appreciate the velocity of thought, and you appreciate the velocity of thought, and his track record is truly impressive. He's scaled companies to 200 million. Obviously, you are much bigger than that, but like, he is a serious person. He is not a time waster. So I would love for you to meet him at some point, right? At some point, if it makes sense. But like, let's get you in the magazine. I would say that would be my gift to you. And like, as I said, no strings attached. I get compensated if you buy more packages afterwards, but you're not going to if the first one is shit. But I can promise you, you are going to be there in the magazine, and that's my gift to you for free, right? It makes sense for us to give this gift to good people, because sometimes they stay, but it's like, it's no strings attached. And so, yeah, would you accept that? And so, yeah, you can say yes or no, would you accept that? And so, yeah, you can say yes or no, but would you accept that? But would you want that? Would you accept that? But would you want that? Okay, I understand. So that there is to be able to network with people in these circles, so that we understand exactly what is important to us and how can we leverage each other's strength and opportunities. Yes, so I'm going to go now to the coffee shop one more time, and or maybe tomorrow morning, and start reaching out to people and start sending them the list that I've promised them. But like, let's get on the call. I'm going to send you all of the leads, and pay me 5%. And if out of that something comes about, um, pay me 5%. Pay me 2% of all of the deals. It's like, it's really not that crazy. It's not that important. Pay me like 5% of the deal, and that's gonna be alright. If one of those leads gets through, just consider me for. Since I'm not going to make the introductions myself, just consider me for a gift card or something like that. It's like, I now know where I'm going to put my energy, I now know where I'm going to be putting my energy with all of that, and it will be into family offices. To get in there, get to know them, and understand a PR offer that I'm going to be able to sell to them, that I'm going to be able to introduce to them, get featured in the magazine, so that they will also be able to get featured there. Get featured in the magazine so that they also have the opportunity to get featured in the magazine also, which enhances their brand and all of that into the family office space, so that it is about behaviors, it's about mannerisms, it's about positivity, but it's also really about non-neediness. That's what I'm going to tell you. It is selling from the back foot. It's inbound. It's creating demand. That's how it works. You don't sell by pitching. You sell by being the person that is getting asked. And so I will work it in the way that I'm going to work it. And if you at some point ask me, hey, what are the revenue numbers this month? That's not the way it's going to be. So that's not the way it's going to be. With all respect, I understand that you probably have incredible goals, and we will reach them. But it will be a process where I'm doing things the way that I'm going to do them, full commission. And if nothing comes for a few months, that might be so, because it needs more relationship building until people say yes to that. Although it may not. I'm just saying, I can't promise. I haven't sold advertising to family offices before. I'm in the context, so I can imagine that the offer works, but I'm not going to be a person who speaks before they've done something. So I'm like, I'll try my best. I think it's a tremendous offer, but no promises here. But I believe in this tremendously. I will offer this to every contact, because this is an amazing freebie. an amazing lead magnet, something that I've been missing so far, where I know that giving away my time and all of that is valuable, but having an advertising offer like that, is something else entirely, is entirely something else. And so this is tremendous. And I would love to get this across to people in family offices and help them understand the value of PR, the value of advertising, to be able to sell advertising packages to PR firms and to family offices so that they get featured in the magazine, and that I am starting to network there and introduce e-commerce automations. I have a very strong team of 700 people. I have a very strong community of 700 people, of 1,700 people, of 700 people who are very accomplished builders of AI systems. Many of them very technical, anything that you can imagine, we have people there. The community exists for a year, so we are almost at our first birthday, so it's fairly new. We are still figuring out how to work with the technology and how everything works, and as the models mature and as we mature and as everything comes together in more clarity, we are exploring the use cases currently. But I would like to stay in contact with you, obviously. So I would like to stay in contact with you, if I may, and send you, and find a way that you let me know what you're currently looking at, so that I send you just with utmost precision, so that I shall sell you, so that I tell you, so that I sell you, no, not sell you, tell you, I'm sorry, so that I tell you about, with utmost precision, the things so that I sell you with utmost precision only on the ideas and the implementations, so that I sell you with utmost precision only the solutions that are truly relevant for you, for very underpriced value. And many of the things we can also build for free too. But I can facilitate that for you, and I would love to. And this is basically what we're doing, where we're looking at what are the ways how we can utilize and leverage, how we can utilize this technology in order to have it make sense on paper for the business, right? So that it does save time, it does save the cost without replacing any humans. That's what we're not about. I give you an example. Would you be willing to hear one example? Is that interesting to you? Would you be willing to hear one example? Is that interesting to you? All right, great. Speed to lead, meaning how fast do leads get followed up with? Meaning, if we put the customer hat on of an e-commerce store, they see a piece of advertising usually, or a piece of content, right? And then they land on the website and they opt in, provided it's a new customer, right? So they opt in. How fast do they get let known that their order that they have been received, that their sign up has been received, and that they are onboarded and welcomed as a customer? How speedy, how fast does that go? And this is one of the things where with automation I see this is great. Another tremendous use case that I see is meeting notes, so that you have an executive assistant that can take a look at the transcripts of all of the calls, that the key calls that are being done in your company have effectuated, so that you get an executive summary for that. And in terms of data policy, that will be a little bit more complicated, but if you have the finances and if that's important to you, we can handle that, and it's not going to cost you a tremendous amount. It's like, we are good, we are fair. A lot of people, it's all right. A lot of people are not millionaires yet. A lot of people there have not really found their value yet. It's like, it's fine. You can really get top level talent for quite fair prices here. Yes, at some point, of course, we're going to want to have a compensation for that, but it's fine. Money in, money out. It's got to make sense for you, and then I think we can talk about that, right? Money in, money out, and I think that in that way it can make sense for you, right? And I think in that way it can make sense for you. But for that, let us get the magazine rolling. I would highly suggest. Let us get the magazine rolling. I would highly suggest. I would love to see that come into being, come through. and come through to you and come through, so that there will be a tremendous use case for you, because you shared about that. I think there would be a tremendous story to be shared. Do you think? I think there would be a tremendous use case to be shared, a tremendous story to be shared. Do you think? Especially because it's relevant. Like a magazine, it's kind of like podcasts. There was a time where it worked much better, just interview style podcast. I've seen you recently on the family office list, and please get me right on this. I love this, but it's like so little views. It's challenging, but it's like so few views. It's challenging because people are, they're saturated with that. But I've learned so much. So thank you so much for this interview. This was tremendous. Thank you for this interview. That was tremendous. No, I'd like to speak to you. Oh yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, that's great. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I would accept that. Yeah, absolutely. I would accept that. And so with that, what we eventually want to find out is how can we make this work for you? And so what's the catch, right? Why is it free? We have other advertising packages that if you're happy, you may want to consider. But for us as a smart business, we give things away for free. We blow our clients away. We blow them out of the water with the service that you're going to get for free. And then, if you like it, you are probably going to want to buy more. I'm fairly certain of that, but there will be a time for another conversation about that. Does that make sense? And obviously, I'll take my time to speak to you. Obviously, I'm going to take my time here to speak to you because I appreciate, because certainly you are a good person to talk to, for sure, because certainly you are a person that I think many people would like to talk to. So I'm very grateful for your time, but also I get compensated for the things that are, and I'm not saying we're going to sell you. You can do what you like, but the numbers make sense for us, and most people stay, and a lot of people stay. So would you want to get featured? We can set this up in a no-hustle way, absolutely easy, so that you get the coverage. Or if you want to showcase somebody of your family who've done tremendously well, to kind of, get their brand impulsed, get their brand up and running and going, I can suggest this too. So, is there anything that you can clarify? I understand it's very hard to, break through to people today, but I can be transparent about as much as I can. I hope you get it. I hope you get it, why we're offering it this way. And so I hope you understand why we're doing it this way. And would you say yes to that? Would you want that? And so would you be willing to do that? Would you accept that? And so yes, would you be willing to do that? Would you accept that? And so why are we giving this away? You may ask. You as an astute businessman, you're probably going to ask, well, what's the string? Well, what are the strings attached? Well, a lot of people do ask us for other services, and it makes sense for us on paper, because a certain amount of people that get the free feature want to potentially have their own magazine. That's one of the very high things that we can do. Or they just want to get a little bit of backlinks and more media, so that the interview gets a little bit more traffic. But hey, you get to decide that. Take our gift if you want to, please. Because Donald Trump, he also didn't pay. And you are at the level where you don't need to pay for that. So don't. And just let us blow you away. Are you willing to be... So just let us please you with that white glove concierge type of PR service. As Ron Diamond said in one of his interviews, that are going to want to be more public about their investments in order to generate inbound proprietary deal flow. And you can, and I think it's smart, but that doesn't matter what I think. What do you think about it? And I think it makes sense to get out of your shell to potentially get access to some deals, but it doesn't matter what I think. What do you think about that? Do you think that makes sense for family offices too? And but I'm also extroverted, public-facing person. I understand that a lot of people with wealth may not want to have that, but what do you think? But may not want to have that or may not need that. So, but what do you think about that personally? But what do you think about that personally? I'm curious. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I understand. Well, I do believe that there's a case and point. So I think that there's a case, and I do think that there's a point in time where advertising can make sense, so that long-term brand building is achieved, so that long-term brand building is being achieved, and so that we can, so that long-term brand building is being achieved, and so that we can understand the needs of you. And so why are we offering this for free? And so you as an astute businessman, you're probably immediately asking, well, what's the catch? Why are we offering this for free? We know that we know our numbers on paper, and a certain percentage of people who take our free gift will want to have other services. They may want to have a magazine of their own, or yeah, just traffic to the magazine, so that you not only get featured, but we do a little bit of SEO magic, and we do some SEO and advertising. Like there are other things that we can do, and a lot of people decide to want to do that. But as you can imagine, Donald Trump also didn't pay. You're the type of man with the type of status that doesn't need to pay for these things. So don't and take our free gift. Would you be willing to do that, or is it not? Or are you not really? Would you accept it? Why are you like not so sure? What do you think? Why are you like not so sure? What do you think? What do you think? Why are you like not so sure? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Got it. I understand. How long would that take? That would take about, all right, that depends on two things. Would you like to get on the podcast and have the interview be published? Or would you just like your team to submit relevant photos and documents, which I will personally oversee, all right? You are my concierge white glove client that I will absolutely oversee that you get all of the information about your recent investment in DeepSeek, if you would like to publicize that, about the patriarchal setup, how you do that, how you incentivize your children and the nephews and everybody else that you consider your extended family, how you build it up. I have the transcript of all of it. I will make sure that with utmost precision you give me the points that you want there to be featured, and I will oversee that personally, that you get that type of service, because I love your vibe, and I don't think it's going to be bad if I blow you away with helping you. And I don't think it's going to be bad if I just do the best that I can for you. And I don't think it's going to be bad. And I don't think bad things are going to come if I just do my absolute best. And so I don't think bad things are going to ensue if I just do my utmost best. Right? So that's the idea. Few clients, but good ones, and then good work. Anyway, so yeah, what do you think? Like, I don't mean to keep you for too long. Are you like, would you or would you not? Yeah, anyways, I don't mean to keep you for too long. Let's make a decision. Would you not? What do you think? Yeah, anyways, I don't want to keep you for too long. I said what I need to say. Would you or would you not? What do you think? Okay, that makes sense. No problem. Okay, that makes sense. No problem. We're here whenever you need. Why though? What's the concern, if I may ask? Is it really the trust? Is it the time? Is it really the trust? If you can be fair, that would be great feedback. If you can be fair with us, if you can be honest, that would be great feedback, because I don't need to waste anybody's time. So maybe there's some things that, great, that makes sense. Cool. And so with that, what we're going to be looking at is this concierge white glove advertising package. And the beard is starting to look really, really nice. And so what we're looking at is this concierge white glove advertising service, where we will offer you being featured in a magazine, being featured in Valiant CEO magazine, where also Donald Trump and others have recently been featured. In fact, just in March, 2025, not so long ago, not so long ago. And I also know that you, unlike that you, like Donald Trump, had a recent tremendous victory, as I understood, with the DeepSeek. So I don't know what you made on that, 75 million, 200 million, I don't know. I mean, maybe you want to share the information there and really highlight or maybe not, that's totally fine. Yeah, we can highlight anything that you would like to be highlighted. Certainly, I will absolutely make sure that I oversee the information that would be published there. So if you want to talk about the setup, how you as a patriarch manage that with love, because you seem to be also a very loving man, a very God-fearing man, and a very humble man, and a very powerful man. And so I would love to showcase that as well, and also how you incentivize your heirs, because yeah, when the incentives align, you can succeed with an organization, right? With an organization with many people, and that's probably the key. That's probably something that you would want to talk about, right? Leadership and how you direct their efforts, and how you direct their efforts without control but with incentives, right? Without control but with incentives, without controlling them but with controlling the incentive structure. And I think that without controlling them but by influencing them by controlling the incentive structure and the way that it's set up. And I think that's smart, and I think that is what a lot of leaders do, and I would love for you to have that highlighted in the magazine as well, if you would be willing to. So all I'm saying is I love this interview. I really truly do. You are certainly charismatic, as she said, as Danielle, absolutely certainly as charismatic as Danielle pointed out. That was not flattery, that was accurate. That was not flattery, that was accurate. And yeah, so that was not flattery, that was accurate. And I would love to have you featured in this magazine. And I would love to have you featured in this magazine. Why? Because I know that if you were to become a client of ours, you can receive so much more, and we can make so much money. And we can make so much money from you. We can deliver so incredible, cutting edge, we can deliver so many services to you, and we can make so much money for us as well. And we can make so much money from that. And I would love to see that, because we will make sure that the value is there for you on paper. It's not an expense, it will be an investment. We can show you that with metrics. And then it's like the numbers will make sense for you later on. But like, first of all, let's get you in the magazine, and the numbers will also make sense. If we can calculate your hourly rate, and we can see if you can actually make this ROI back in the time in the magazine. Right? So that you can get set up with us, you can get set up with the entire infrastructure of being featured in the magazine, so that you understand, to give you an understanding of what is entailed of that, so that you can verify for you whether this is going to be worth your time and whether the ROI is going to be there. Because for you, I may be very off with the numbers, and I do apologize and for my lack of precision, and then I really apologize for my lack of precision. And if so, I apologize for my lack of precision. And if so, I do apologize for my lack of precision. But as far as I understand, your time per hour would be about $70,000 per hour. So if you gave us an hour of your time, you want to make sure that it makes sense on paper, that you get at least that back. And I would love to prove that to you. And I would love to prove that to you here. And as I said, it's free. And you as an astute businessman, you're going to want to ask, why is it free? Because we also know our numbers, and we know that a certain percentage of people that we blow away with a free feature, are asking us, well, can I have a magazine of my own? Can you help us publicize that a little bit? A bit of media, a bit of advertising, right? A bit of media, a bit of advertising, letting people know about this recent interview, and a lot of people are going to want it. But I hope that you see that this is a complete solution. This is not like we give you one piece and then you gotta pay us for the rest. Like, you're gonna get featured, and you're gonna get an article published in this magazine. And then if you want to hire us, and if you had a good experience with us, if we gained your trust as a client, then we can do so much more. Then I'm sure we can identify other good use cases that you are then happy to pay us for. Because that you're then probably going to be happy to pay us for. That's very transparent how it's going to work for us. It's like, we identify good people, give them this feature for free. We get them featured for free. And yeah, see. And I can get you featured for free, because I am because I've built a relationship with them, and we've built a system, and we figured out that it makes sense for us, because a certain number of people that take our gift decide to ask us for more, decide to say yes when we introduce them other things, decide to say yes when we follow up and ask them if they would other things, if they would want to have other things. So yeah, we may have other conversations after, but for now this is going to be my free gift. And that other people may do that, so that a certain, so because we know our numbers also, and a certain percentage of people are going to want more, are going to ask us for more, are going to want more, and are going to want more. And so, would you want that? And so, would you want that? Can I do it? Can I show you mine? And so, would you want that? Would you like to see mine and see how that turned out? Would you like to see mine? Would you like to see how that turned out? Yeah. I mean, I'm up and coming. I don't have a track record like you. I don't have an acumen like you. But I did put in the work, and I have a lot of things that I've done and a lot of skills to share. And I'm developing myself each day. And so, yeah. It's interesting enough for people below my level. And so, yeah, I'm patient, and I'll build myself every day. And I build myself and my brand every day. And I build myself and my brand and my capacities every day. Every day. Because that's the life I'd like to live. Right? And so that's exactly what we're doing, so that you can get featured in that magazine.